National Canoe Federation Canoe Slalom World Cup for 2023. My name's Ross Solly. It is great to be with you. We've got a full afternoon of action coming your way. We're so happy that you can join us. Look, the weather here is threatening. It's not raining yet, but it's taken a little bit of a turn for the worse in the last half hour, so we could get some rain sometime soon. We've got men's and women's C1 action coming your way. Semi-finals in both the women's and the men's, and then some finals action a little bit later on this afternoon. So I hope you can stick with us. Joining me in the commentary box, Canada's Lois Betteridge, who should be out there on the water, but she loves commentating so much that she refused to qualify for the semi-finals. Just stood there and said, nope, I'm going to go and commentate. Hello, Lois.
Hi, Ross. How's it going?
It's going okay. How are you going? More to the point.
Doing all right. Would have been, I mean, obviously better to be out on the water, but...
Yeah, that's the way it goes. It's a tough course. We always know that Tacen is a tough course. For those who are unfamiliar, there's a famous, what they call the drop at the start of the course, and you'll see that action today. By the way, it's going to change apparently from next year. But there are some challenging parts of the course. You've been on there a few times already, Lois. Although it has changed, of course, for the semi-finals. But where are the challenging parts that you saw, that you see ahead for these athletes?
Yeah, despite the beginning being the largest water feature, I actually don't think that's the most technical part of the course. I think towards gate 16, 17, and out of gate 18, the upstream right in the hole, there's a stagger into an upstream there that I think poses a slightly more technical challenge than the actual water movements at the top. There's some squirrely water where the water doesn't really always make sense in the middle there, so I think that's a bit trickier than the higher volume at the top.
Yes, well, we'll soon see what the new, because they changed the course design after the qualifiers, of course, and they changed it for the semi-finals, so we'll soon see if there are any new tricks there for us.
That's right. Yeah, I think at gate 10 that might be quite challenging now.
Okay,
on the new
so
course.
Watch out for that. A good crowd building up. It's a Friday afternoon in Slovenia, and I think people are taking the, not the work from home, but the work from the canoe slalom venue option for the afternoon to come out and watch. They love their canoe slalom, and they will get behind all the athletes, including Eva Rahova, who was sitting in that very seat that you're sitting in now, Lois, last week when we were in Prague. And now she gets a chance to show us what she can do on the water. Had a disappointing couple of heat runs, only just scraped into the final. And we know she's much better than that. She was an under 23. I think she finished 5th in last year. Oh, but there's an early problem. Gee, that's tough getting across there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pretty flat wave there sometimes. I think she got a little unlucky with the surge.
So an early 2-second penalty for Eva Rahova from the Czech Republic. We're getting a good look here. We're having, oh, it was tight, but no touch at this stage. So you can see just how challenging the course looks at the moment. It's considered by a lot of paddlers to be one of the... Oh, she missed it. She's missed that gate, so she's going to have to go back now. Because if you miss the gate, that's a 50-second penalty. So it's well and truly worth paddling back to try and get the gate if you've missed it. So that's what Eva did, but that is valuable time lost by this Czech paddler.
Yeah, I don't think there's quite the speed that Eva was hoping for on this run. So far, there's a few mistakes falling in.
Yes, so she really needs to nail the bottom part of the course to be... Of course, it's not the strongest C1 field, I think it's fair to say, Lois. There's a couple of big names missing. Of course, the biggest name is still there. Jessica Fox, Olympic champion, unbeaten this year. Oh, I think there may have been another touch there. Unbeaten this year in the C1.
Yeah, but there is no Andrea Herzog from Germany, I believe.
And no Mallory Franklin, the Olympic silver medalist. So there are a couple of big names not there, which has opened the door for some other athletes to step up and maybe have a good crack at winning a medal here. But for Eva Rahova, well, that's a big thing. She's shaking the head there for me, but she's not happy with that run, unfortunately. But we'll see. That is time on the board, 1:21.02 for Eva Rahova. Now, this is a very interesting paddler, Lois, from China, Ji Yang. We haven't seen her since 2018, I believe. I can find no record of her competing anywhere on an ICF event since 2018.
That can happen sometimes with the Chinese team. We see athletes showing up, performing extremely well, and then the next year we don't know where they go. So
yeah. So they've got so much depth. They've got so many athletes. So here's Ji Yang. She was actually 18th at the World Championships back in 2018. But
caught that little surge.
Yep, and look at that rock placement
her
there.
Backwards.
Look at that rock placement there, Lois, just to keep your mind on the job when you go through those gates. It might eliminate a few options.
Yeah, you can't go straight over it.
No, you don't want to damage your boat at the top and then have to swim for the bottom half. So, second athlete in, we have 30 athletes altogether who will, oh dear.
Yeah. I think the spin option on 10 was interesting, and then a direct on 11. That's very hard cross to get across the fast water from 11 to the upstream 12 there.
Now, look at all the work that Ji Yang's got to try and do. She's trying to get back to that gate. Talk us through, though, Lois, the amount of energy that goes into paddling upstream like that to get back, considering she's still got 10 or so gates to go after this.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a drain on her energy system. She'll be pretty gassed after this. She was able to use the eddy, so she was able to use some of the countercurrents to get up a little bit, but nothing like following the flow downstream.
Oh, now she's stuck in the one spot.
Oh dear.
Oh, this is not going the way that Ji Yang would like. Now she's thinking, why did I come back after 4 years, 5 years? I was much happier sitting at home watching it on the telly. But she's out there, and she's giving it a go, and she's really, this is the first time she's competed at an international level for 2 touches there in a row. So I'm sure she's happy just to be back competing on the big stage, and she'll learn a lot from this, but unfortunately, that time is, wow, this run seems to be going on forever.
Yeah, I think that's one of those runs where you, as the paddler, you really just wish it was over.
Already though, Lois, I can see this is hard work, this course, and the way the gates, they're going to be absolutely blown by the time they get to the bottom.
Yeah, the gate combination as well as just the physical water features here are very, very challenging.
Yep. So another of the strong Czech paddlers, we know how good they are. This is Jana Matulkova. She was 12th at the World Cup in Krakow last year. So looking to make her first final at a senior level. So as I mentioned to Lois before, it's wide open today. There's the way the water just carried, the current just carried her straight at the gate. She did well to avoid it. But at this stage, the time's not that quick. It looks to me, Lois, like there aren't a lot of areas on this course where you can make up time, where you can actually really pin your ears back and go for some speed.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of sheer acceleration moments. There's a lot of time to be lost and less time to be gained physically. I think you just have to be online and cross your fingers and hope you get a good water surge all the way down that carries you all the way to the finish.
So the good news at this stage for Jana Matulkova is that she's not had any penalties. There is a review underway, but at this stage, and is that rain we can see? I think the rain has arrived. Do you know, I spoke to 3 different Slovenians, Lois, on my way here to the commentary position, and I said to them, is it going to rain this afternoon? And they all looked at me straight in the eye and said, no, it's not going to rain this afternoon.
That being said, I don't think we can complain too much sitting here in the commentary box.
No, it's very dry. It's very dry in the commentary box, but these Slovenians, they cannot read their own weather, because that is definitely rain that we can see now. So Jana Matulkova is through, finished, no penalties, but there is an asterisk. So she'll have a nervous wait, but her time was outside that of Eva Rahova, who's about now starting to think, actually, maybe my 121 isn't so bad. Dorian Delassus now, the French paddler, she's also having trouble.
Missed that. I think that gate 4 is a bit further right. Or gate, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit further, so there's a little bit more to cross before you do your spin.
Yep.
And if that was a mistake in the analysis, not quite seeing if it is just how much further you have to go to get across to that gate.
Dorian's from a... that's so tough. That is so tough. She's from a strong paddling family. Oh, you cannot get through there. That is just... If you go on the wrong angle there, you've got big problems.
Yeah, you really have to keep the boat moving downstream at all costs here.
One of the course designers is Fiona Penny, of course, and Canoe Slalom fans will be very familiar with Fiona's name, an Olympian, of course, and Spent a lot of years paddling for Team GB. I think I was talking to her. Dorian Delassou. Oh, and the helmet's gone skew with, and she doesn't know where she is now. She's gone the wrong way around the rock. This is tough going.
Should be hoping to get some speed back on the boat just to finish this run.
Now we should also mention, Lois, at the first 2 World Cups we had the K1 before the C1. So a lot of the C1 paddlers got that because C1 is a little bit tougher than K1.
That's right, yeah.
And so for a lot of these athletes, they got the chance to do the K1 on the Friday afternoon, got a feel for the course. And
I'm just missing the angle there.
Goodness me, this is hard work. Got a feel for the course and then came out and did the C1 after that. But this is, they've turned it around here, so the C1 is first. And we can see that a lot of these paddlers are just really, really struggling. It's not usual in a semi-final that we would have 2 paddlers on the course at same time, but these runs are so difficult that we're having a lot of doubling up here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much the no practice in the kayak event, or if it's more just the gate setups. I think there are a lot of moves here where we're crossing back and forth on the river. And here we have Nelly Bain from Germany.
She's been at a couple of World Cups already this year, so she's had a bit of experience. It's hard work getting across there. She was 9th at the 2022 European Championships, which is a good result. And finally, that's how you do it, folks. Take a copy of that and paste it up on your forehead, and so when you look in the mirror you can remember how to...
We'll see what option she opts for there. Yeah,
the wrong option.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be an option here to be very fast and come into the eddy above gate 10, spin gate 10 and spin gate 11, and just because the risk here seems to be very high. We've seen a lot of people struggling on that gate 10.
Yeah, she did a great combination earlier on, but gate 10 just blowing her away. Still,
you can see the wind as well.
Yeah,
look at those poles moving.
Now tell us about the challenges that provides for an athlete.
Yeah, already you have to get around the gates without touching them, and when they're moving, even if it swings into you because of the wind, it's still a 2-second penalty. So you have to be ultra aware of the poles, the movements, the gusts. Try to track it. Getting stuck on her stern there.
Look at that. That is just wind blowing it around.
Yeah.
That is, as Demis Roussos once saying, my friend the wind, you really need to make the wind your friend out here. And not only do you have to read the water, but you also have to read the wind. As if it's not challenging enough.
It can change completely where the gates are too. They can blow into a completely different section of the course, and it can mess up your race plan, and you have to be able to adapt.
Good point. Yeah, really good point. Look at Eva Rahova's time at the moment.
Still holding.
Well and truly out with 3 gate touches.
Our first Slovenian.
And Leah Novak, goodness, look how hard that is. She got through the gate. She doesn't need to go back, but she touched
that gate. She does have to catch that wave.
She's got to get across, and look how much energy she's expending to get there. And no time for catching your breath, because now we've got this challenging combination coming up here, which... she got there. Yeah. Well done, Leah.
See how one of the first locals does it?
Yep. She was 7th in a World Cup here last year, showing local knowledge. So let's see if she can transfer that knowledge and form into something decent here to get herself into the final.
Yeah, so we can see there, that was the first double spin we've seen, and I don't think that's going to be too costly on the time, the final standing. I think that executing a double spin properly there will be a safe option, maybe not the actual fastest, but at some points you have to choose the best option for you.
I'll tell you what, some of these athletes, 10 of these athletes, Lois, they're going to have to do this run twice.
Yeah, so they'll be trying to go as fast as they can now to get into that top 10 spot.
Yeah. Just hope that they can relax and build up their strength to come out and do it all again in a final later on this afternoon.
That was very nice.
Oh, she got there, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, she just needed a little more time to get onto that crossbow, but she could have gone back to it.
So they have given her the 2-second penalty for a gate touch on gate 4. At the moment, Eva Rahova's time is a 1:21.02. I think, unfortunately, this is going to be just outside, I think. Oh, just under. Well done. Leah Novak goes into the lead, which the local fans are very, very happy about. They've all come out today to watch.
I did see her shake her head. I'm not sure if she thinks that's enough to make a final right now, but we have another semi-local here. Michaela lives in Ljubljana and trains here quite a lot.
Yep, represents Ireland. Of course, just 20 years of age, Michaela. One of the things about this weekend with some of the big names missing, and some of the teams have deliberately brought younger athletes here to give them a chance to compete. A baptism of fire, really, Lois. Come and compete in Tacen.
Yeah, of all the places.
Oh my God! Oh, look at the wind there. That is. See, look at that. That is a classic example. She's staring at that gate and it's going back and forth. Oh, Michaela, I feel so disappointed for you because that's so hard.
Yeah.
The wind was just tormenting her. The gate swinging back and forth, and she was staring at it, wishing it would stop. But
that was a very nice spin, though. In the wave, she managed to not go into the eddy to do her spin, so that's good to see.
Yep. So Michaela Corcoran representing Ireland, 19th last year here in the World Cup. So hoping to get through to a final, her first senior final. But, oh no!
Taking another touch there. That's gonna be a lot, I think, for her. She's got 1 confirmed touch and 3 penalty reviews. I'm not sure what the reviews are. If they're 50s or touches, but it's
one of them's potentially 50, I think. But I thought the touches were pretty clear. But the judges, we have judges on the bank looking with their naked eyes at what's happening, and then we have a team of judges sitting in ground control who go back and review all the video footage, especially on the contentious ones, especially on the 50s, just to make sure, because obviously a 50-second penalty can absolutely kill your chances of progressing any further in the competition. So the judges do have a very good look at it to make sure that it is all tickety-boo. Michaela Corcoran finishes outside the best time. And now we have Emanuela Luknarova, who is probably the best form athlete that we've had so far in this semi-final. She's a silver and a bronze medalist from the Under-23 World Championships.
Oh, she's working hard to catch that wave. Oh, and she just did it. But you can see there, Ross, she had very flat water, which makes it a very physical cross instead of a surge where you get a little boost from the water even.
So you can see her raw speed looks pretty good. She's looking very smooth across the water, a lot smoother than any of the athletes we've seen so far. Oh, there was a touch with the fingers, I think. Just maybe the knuckles wrapped that gate on the way through.
Yeah, I think she got a little gust of wind.
Yeah.
But the nice double spin there again, and coming in well to that upstream 12. So that's good to see. She'll be ahead on this next split if everything goes well in this next little stagger.
There's the commentator's curse, Lois. Kicks in again as soon as you mention it.
Well, she's still up on the split, so hopefully she can keep the speed going and finish up all right.
She certainly looked a lot smoother over the water than anyone we've seen so far. So there is the possibility to get some pace up. You've just got to make sure those gates stay out of your way.
Yeah.
At the moment, she needs to go under 120. I think she's going to do that in a canter.
Yeah, we'll see what option she opts for here. If she's going to go for a spin. And she's just sneaking in above 22. That was very nice.
Yep. So coming down to the finish line now, it's going to be about a 117 maybe for... Oh, no, well and truly under 115. Yeah. 5 seconds. 5 seconds under the previous best time. And she had 2 gate touches.
Yeah, 111 raw time is, I think, a fairly respectable time there.
Yep. Now...
Oh, no, Elena there just catching her bow on the wall. I think she didn't look super stable.
Oh, she's managed to get through the gate okay, though. So she's a 2023, an under-23 world champion from last year. So she has good form. She's a very good paddler, very accomplished paddler. This will be a test for her today, just how strong she's feeling and how well she can read this course. Of course, the Italians spend a lot of time here.
That's right, they do. Yeah.
We'll see later on. People like Marta Bertoncelli and Giovanni De Janeiro, they all train here because it's so close for them to come from Italy to here to train, and the facilities are good.
Wow, that was a very nice direct option by Elena.
So good run so far for Elena after, as Lois said, she had a bit of a mishap at the start, but she's recovered well and is at this stage all clean. Could this be our first clean run of the competition? No one has gone down without a penalty yet, so we're looking for somebody to show us how to navigate this course without problems. Oh, you can see how exhausted she is already.
See the fatigue, but if she can stay focused, I think she'll put together a very nice run here. Which is good to see.
Oh, commentator's curse.
Yeah.
Lois, stop it.
It is a very tricky exit there. She's still up on the split, so she can still hold it together and come into the top of this leaderboard, I think.
So a big challenge for her here now to really finish well, because her time was pretty good. She had that one gate touch now, but I think she's still going to go pretty close to the...
Yeah. Oh, just sneaking in.
Yeah. So with a gate touch, a raw time of a 1:12. Is this going to be enough though? We've got some big name paddlers still to come though. There's going to be some challenges thrown out. Ivana Žlebova, she's just 19 years of age, 4th at the Junior World Championships here in Tacen in 2021. So has shown already she doesn't mind this course, but now she's got some problems.
Going a little bit wide on that first spin does give you an option to catch the wave, but she still didn't quite manage to sneak onto it. I should have hoped.
And then crashing into the pole, so an obvious 2-second penalty there. Now, has she got this move down pat? Yes, she has. That's nice. She's picked up a little bit of time through there, because we've seen some athletes struggle and lose a lot of time on that combination, and she's done well there as well.
Yeah,
switching hands now, and switching again. Really
clean on the spin.
Yeah, really trying to get as much as she can out of this course. You can't make the course your friend, of course. Let it do all the work, but you've got to be fortunate. You've got to really be able to read the conditions in the situation. But she's doing quite well at the moment. She's up on the split, a little bit deep there, but
yeah, you can see her breathing heavily.
Yep. So for a one gate touch, her time's pretty good. But I think we're probably now looking, I would think, Lois, you'd want a 1:10 raw to be anywhere near making it through to the final, I think, just from what we've seen.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. We'll see, I think.
There'll be some sub 1:10s for sure.
I think for sure, yeah. I think there might be a bit of a spread in the top 10 today.
Yeah. We have got some big name athletes still to come, including an Olympic champion and a world champion and under 23 champions. There we go. We have a new race leader, Ivana Žlebova from Slovakia. As I said, she was 4th on this course back in 2021 in the Junior World Championships. So now here's a young lady who very much impressed us last week in the kayak cross, and I think she got a lot of confidence in that event. Now the big challenge for her is to come out and to transfer that form. Oh, she's missed that game, I think.
She might have been in it. I'm not quite sure from this camera angle.
Yeah, maybe it's a bad angle for us.
Yeah, it's hard to see, and there's so much speed at that moment. It's hard to say from where we're sitting.
There's another tough one. There is another tough one for the judges. Just when they were thinking they were going to have a nice quiet afternoon.
Yeah.
They've got some work to do.
Yeah, Omira is going to be working hard now, and that's going to cost later on down the course as well. The extra energy spent to get across there.
So my apologies to our Brazilian fans. They got excited about the gate up the top, but it seems that she was absolutely fine. Just my tired old eyes playing tricks on me again. Ooh, but there we go. No eyes playing tricks on me there. She has gone past that gate, and now she's got to back up like a big Mack truck and get that through, and she's done it. Well done. But problematic on this run, Lois, for her. She's losing a lot of time, even though she's had no penalties yet.
Yeah, her lines are not quite there, unfortunately.
But got to keep it going and hope you can pick up some time at the bottom of the course. But look at that, she's 11 seconds out on a clean run, which as yet we still have not. Oh, there we go. Good on you, Ross. Just put that commentator's curse right on the athlete. A 2-second penalty there. question is, will anybody go through? We had a final or semi-final a couple of weeks ago, Lois, where not one athlete, I think there may have been one athlete in the whole field who went through without a penalty.
I think that was in Augsburg, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a very challenging course setup. Yeah. It seems like the level of courses, maybe with the new small adjustments between qualifications and semifinals, I think has brought the qualification level a little bit harder, and maybe the finals a little easier, but a little bit less discretion between the qualification difficulty and the final difficulty. Here we have Lucie Baudu.
Yes, 2019 in Prague, she finished 4th, getting a chance to show her stuff. Very strong French team, of course, a lot of depth, and they've spread it out over this season, giving different paddlers the chance to have a crack at the top level. Oh, there we go. There's a gate touch already for Lucy. Yes, it's, I mean, obviously with the Olympics in Paris next year, she's gone past that gate as well. So fortunately for Lucy, she attacked it with confidence, but the water didn't share her confidence and took her the wrong way. So she had to go back and go through that gate. So she is losing time, plus she's had 2 gate touches. So tough work now for Lucie Baudu to try and put a time up that's going to challenge anywhere near the top 2 or 3. Best time on the course so far, Ivana Klevova's 1:12.9 with a gate touch, so just over the 1:10 mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure that'll stand when it gets to the end of this field, but
no, I think we've got too many high-class athletes who I think will comfortably go under the 1:10 mark. You know, we've got, oh, she's really going to work hard. And here we are, we've still got a few gates to go. It's such a tough run, Lois.
Yeah, it's very physical, and yeah, you see it. These athletes just, some of them just battling away.
Oh, sorry. So I mentioned this course, one of the most famous things about this course is the legendary drop at the start, and we've seen that. We'll highlight that in just a moment when we go to the top of the run. It's quite famous, and it strikes a lot of fear into a lot of athletes' hearts. Apparently, well, it's not apparently, it's fact, that they're going to change that. They're going to make it less of a drop.
That's what I've heard. I think they're going to use some of the gradient that's right at the top of the course, and they're going to move it a little more equally down the course.
What are the athletes telling you about that, Lois? Because I've spoken to a couple and they've said, oh, we're so disappointed. We love the drop. We love the challenge. But then I've had another couple who have said, oh, I'm pretty happy about it because it always kills me. So what are you hearing? What are most of the athletes saying about it?
I haven't actually had any conversations with anybody about it yet. I just have heard from our team leader about the changes. So I'm not sure what the populace opinion is.
Oh, there we go. Unfortunately for Simona Gletskova, who made the final of the under-23 World Championships last year, but did not finish. She missed that gate there. What's your feelings about it? Do you like the drop here? What do you?
I do. I think the drop is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I do think that the middle section here could use more gradient to keep it flowing a little bit more, to have less of these surges that we've seen troubles on, for instance, around gates 7, 8, where we've seen a few athletes kind of just get stopped on a surge that's creating a water against them that's a little, not less fair, but a little less predictable in racing.
Yep. So despite having a little bit of trouble up the top, the raw time from Simona Gletskova is not too bad at this stage. She could be just over the 1:10 mark. It's going to be very close. Under the 1:10. There we go. We've gone under, and she's done it by a long stretch. So that is a very good run for a lady. Let's see the facial expressions. Nothing to read into that. So she's gone into the lead, though, with a 109.91 with a touch. So read into that what you will, folks. Alice Miller now, the first of our Brits on the course, 21 years of age. She was 9th at the under-23 World Championships here in Tacen.
Good start for her on the drop. She did that nicely. And keeping it under control and catching the wave. Very good start for the first 5 gates.
Yeah, she's got across there really well. So Alice Miller trying to emulate, follow in the footsteps of two of the biggest names in women's canoe racing at the moment from Great Britain, Mallory Franklin and Kimberly Woods. Unfortunately, both not here, but they've both had their triumphs and their, may I say it, their troubles here on the Tacen course over the years.
Wow, look at the wind just blowing them.
It's now picking up, isn't it?
She was...
Oh, look at...
She's okay, but it's definitely adding a layer of difficulty that is unfortunate for LS.
Making it hard, I think, Lois, for people to take risks, because if you try and cut a corner, take a risk, then the wind's working against you.
Absolutely. It's I think the name of the game here is just trying to play it safe.
Well done, Alice. Nice combination. I don't know whether that was what she planned, but it worked out okay for her.
Yeah. Just watching the outside pole there, she avoided a touch very nicely.
This is a nice time for Alice Miller from Great Britain. She's putting together a pretty decent run.
Yeah, she's kept it very under control.
And at this stage, outside the split set by Glechnikova, but there's a lot of wriggle room between first and the rest of the fields at the moment. So she can comfortably here go into probably second spot. Well done for Alice Miller. There we go. Ashen-faced coach refusing to give away any emotions. Can't read into that look what the coach thought. There's the drop we're talking about. That is what is going to change, and that is what the athletes have either loved or loathed over many, many years, as the 2020 Olympian Klaudia Zwolinska from Poland
finished 15th in the qualifications, and I know she'll be trying to improve on that. She'll definitely be. She's eyeing a spot in the final.
She was 14th at the World Championships last year, so that was a good performance.
Yeah, she has made both the finals so far this year, the first two World Cups. Claudia.
Claudia, I think you will need to go back. Go back and do it again. Come on. Don't take the risk. Nope, she's going to leave it up to the judges to decide. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's 50 seconds left.
Oh, and now she's hit that one smack on the face, which will just rub further salt into the wound. Oh, and she's missed that one as well.
Oh, this run is
Claudia.
falling apart for
Yeah,
Claudia,
she's actually missed this gate over here, so that's about 350s now, unfortunately, for Claudia as well. And she's got around the wrong.
She's coming up for that gate 12 there. She's coming around the rock to avoid. It's a little easier work there, but unfortunately, even if she rectifies some of those 50 seconds, even if she gets those gates, the running time is going to be way too long.
Yeah.
But it is very good sportsmanship. We do love to see she's tried, but at a certain point there's only so much you can do to keep going.
Sometimes you're going to look at your watch and think, I've got dinner coming up soon in a couple of hours, and I can't still be out here at dinner time. I'm going to head home. Pack it up and go home. She just needs to finish the bottom of this course with some style. A bit of a shake of the head there. Looks like she might have a bit of a mark on the face. She hit one of those poles flush on with the nose, but no, she's all right.
Okay, I think she's just disappointed.
Yeah. As you can see there, 350s. That is never, ever going to do you well. Unfortunately for Klaudia Zwolinska, so there'll be no finals activity for her this afternoon.
Yeah, I think she'll be looking straight away into the kayak discipline for her.
Which is the stronger of her two disciplines, I think, the kayak. So
I don't know.
Oh, and then she's just had a little swim at the end.
Oh.
Now, Bethan Foro, who a few years ago stormed onto the scene, I think it was in Rio at the World Championships, and she all of a sudden from nowhere turned up in a World Championship final, and everybody wrote down her name and thought, right, here is a star of the future. She's still only 22 years of age. She is stuck behind a log jam, and I say that the nicest possible way to describe Kimberly Woods and Mallory Franklin, so she's been waiting and waiting and waiting to get more opportunities. Here is a chance. Yep. Here is a chance for her. She's 2021 under-23 world champion, so we know she can paddle.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question of any of these athletes out here if they're able to paddle or not. They are on the World Cup stage here. So.
Yep. A little bit of a problem though for Bethan, a couple of touches and a little bit slow generally, so it needs to.
Yeah, I think we're seeing some of the frustration coming through quite clearly on the faces of these athletes. The touches, and you just see on read their faces quite clearly.
I think, Lois, the thing people need to remember, though, is that even if you do get in trouble up the top of the course, there are not many what we describe as outstanding runs so far. So even if they get into trouble up the top...
Absolutely. There's definitely a lot of room left here. I think there's going to be a few people who are sneaking into the final with good enough runs rather than runs they expect would make a final.
Yeah, people who may have packed up their bag and headed off. Now, here we go. A world champion on the stage. Been a little bit below her best last week in Prague. Looking to bounce back here in Tacen. I mean, this is going to be our first real test, I think, Lois, of how to navigate this course, because she's a very good paddler.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get another time of reference, I think, at the end of her run for the top run time.
Yeah, this will be. We would be very surprised if Elena Luke doesn't make it through to the final.
Yeah. That being said, anything can happen.
Sure can, but look at that time already. She's already... I mean, I said under 110. If she keeps going at this pace, she's going to be mid-100. So...
Yeah, we see her going for the spin, and maybe if she progresses to the final, she'll be looking at a different option there to go for the fastest option. But I think she knows at this point she just needs to put a run together that's going to get all the gates with the speed on the boat that she knows she has. So almost 10 seconds ahead.
We are going to have a time here that is going to go very close to the 100. In fact, at this speed, she could go very close to the 100 mark, which will be setting down a real strong message to the rest of the field for Eleanor Lilly. And she's clean so far. We've not had a single athlete go down without a penalty.
So she's lost a little bit of time compared to Simona's middle section. Simona went 3 seconds faster than her in that section, but she's still well ahead on that split. So
really using the turn well, isn't she?
Yeah.
Here we go, down to the finish line. It's going to be about a 105, so that's pretty good. She's 5.8 seconds up. I know we've got a long way to go still, Lois, but I'm going to pencil her in. I think she's into the final.
I think that should be well enough. She's also the first athlete down without any penalties. So
yes, she is. Yeah.
It's good to see.
So now we have Katja Bengeri, who's here. Her brother's here as well. I think we're going to see him racing a little bit later on.
Yeah, so he made the kayak semi-final, that's for sure.
And he's in the canoe one as well.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So that's fantastic for Croatia. But Katja, a little bit of trouble here. She's 21 years of age, Katja, and hasn't had a lot of senior experience, so a good opportunity for her to test herself. But just struggling a little bit here with a couple of the combinations. Yeah, 2021, she was 13th at the Under-23 World Championships, so that's not a bad effort. That's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, that's very close to a top 10.
Yep. So getting a chance on one of the toughest courses in the world to show us. It looks like the sun might be shining lower, so I can't believe it. The sun has broken through.
That's a happy change.
It is indeed, and we might see some smiles on some of the faces of the athletes now. Of course, it depends what happens on the water. Not a lot of smiling going on so far.
A couple grimaces.
Yeah, but this is a nice run. I think this is. I mean, looks. She lost some time up the top, which is why she's 16 seconds down. But don't forget, that's the time of Eleanor Lillich, who was more than 5 seconds faster than the next quickest on the course. So
that's right.
Just
very nicely through gate 18. Katja there. Taking a touch on the next gate. That is the trick with that upstream. The exit is very challenging because you have to watch your bow so you don't take a touch on that next downstream because it's very tight. Unfortunately, she did.
So not quite the finish you might have liked, but
good spin though.
Yep, Katja Bengeri from Croatia coming down now and moves into 11th at this stage. So we're getting close now. We're getting towards the stage where we'll have our last 10 athletes on the course, and we'll get some idea who's going to the final. We have another of our Chinese athletes here. She's just 20 years of age. Again, Huan Hang. We haven't seen her since the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
Wow. Yeah, we did see. I just saw her ICF ranking of 233rd.
Yeah.
But That's I think a lack of international racing rather than ability here.
Her only outing really was at the Youth Olympic Games in 2018. So welcome back. We're very happy to have you back, Juan, as a competitor here. And at this stage, look at this. Oh, she's done well.
Through that very nicely.
Right, now we know what you've been doing for the last 5 years. Practicing.
That's right. Oh, dear.
There's a big 2-second penalty there, unfortunately. So, as I mentioned, just 20 years of age, so at the beginning of her career, and getting an opportunity here to race against the best in the world.
Keeping the speed very nicely through this gate combination. So we'll see what she can do towards the end of the course as the fatigue kicks in and as the lactic acid builds up and the brain starts to fog sometimes too, especially in these mentally challenging. You have to keep making decisions after decision after decision. For sure.
It does look like the wind's dropped though, Lois, which is some good news for the paddlers coming later.
Yes.
It looks very, very still out there. Oh, there's a bit of not too much though. Not what it was when it was. The gates were really flapping about there in the breeze for a little while. But Juan Hang now, she's coming down towards the finish, and it's not the worst time, that's for sure. But
yeah, taking a little bit of time also in that spin, but now she's back into the current.
So for a first outing for 5 years, that's not a bad one. Should be happy with that.
Next on course is Abby Ledfarth. Oh, sneaking into gate 1, that's good. She'll be able to keep the speed. She knows where the fast parts of this course are. She's had some very good results.
She's really loves Tacen, doesn't she? She always does very well here. I think she won a... no, she didn't. Did she win?
Yep.
Yes, she did. The junior world title here.
Yes, that's right. I think maybe in kayak as well.
Just before the Olympics, in the kayak, that's right. So looking here, she's still just 19 years of age. She was second here last year in the World Cup, which was, I think, one of her best results in Senior World Cup racing. And I thought last week, Lois, we saw her looking a lot stronger than we did. I thought her first week in Augsburg was a bit challenging for her, but she certainly showed a lot more form in Prague.
Yeah, she had 2 11th place finishes in Prague, in canoe and in kayak, and I know she was very disappointed to miss out on those finals, so she'll be pulling here to get into the top 10, and so far it looks like she might be able to do that if everything keeps going according to her plan.
She just needs to stay clean. That's the key here, because her time is outside that of Eleanor Lillick's, but there's a gap of more than 5 seconds between Eleanor Lillick's time and the second best time. She's gone. If she doesn't... Oh, no, I was going to say she...
Pretty big loop. I think she'll be losing maybe too much time to make it into that top 10.
Okay, let's see how she goes now. She's got to really maybe take a risk here.
Yeah, we'll see if she pushes far enough here.
See, there's a little bit... There's disappointment on her... No, she's done okay, but that time is now sneaking out. Unfortunately for Evie Ledfarth, she'd be disappointed. I think she would have looked at this field today and thought there is a final for the taking with this field, and she slipped out there. She's 8th at the moment.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate mistake for her. It's too bad because she did put together a very nice top of her run. Yeah. But that's just it. Canoe slalom is the whole run, not just parts of it. So.
Eva Elena Hossela is on the course, 21 years of age. She was 7th here last year.
Taking a touch, but managing to stick on that wave. So hopefully that's not too costly for her.
So you can see there the time of Eleanor Lillick, her split time. Gives you an idea how well she was going at the top of the course. Nobody has really been able to come close to that run yet, so I think when we start to see the Anna Satillas and Jess Foxes of this field step out, and Marta Bertoncelli's, that'll be really interesting to see how Eleanor Lillick's time stands up. But the more I see out on this course, Lois, the more I think that's going to be a time that's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, we do also have Alia Kurzorog coming up.
Yes, good point.
Local knowledge will definitely come into play here. I think she has lots up her sleeve.
So we are now into the top 10. So from here we will know who has qualified, and at the moment it's Eleanor Lillich who is sitting in the box seat. I think we can safely, in fact I'm going to do it right now, I've got my pencil out and I'm going to put a Q next to her name because I'm pretty confident that she will be through after this run.
Yeah, I think Evelina here is looking at not too bad of a finish. Her running time won't be too slow, but it might still not be quite enough.
Yeah, just over the 110 mark. So nervous time now for her. She has 9 more athletes to go.
Simona Glechkova might be looking at a final.
Which I'm sure she'll be quite shocked given that her run up the top was really messy.
Yeah.
But it's what you said, Lois, before. There are some athletes here who are going to put together some pretty ordinary runs and they're going to find themselves in a final. That's how challenging this course is. Right. I think this course and this setting today is ripe for the picking for Anna Sitila. I mean, she's so experienced. She's been to 3 Olympic Games.
Just controlling nicely there.
She's so strong, so powerful, so fast. She takes risks. I wonder whether today what her attitude will be. She doesn't need to take risks.
Absolutely. Today. I think she knows she doesn't need to take any risks on a semi-final run today.
And she hasn't had a great 2023, I've got to say, so I think she'll be just itching to get herself into a final to see what she can do, and today could be the one. The time we're looking at for Anna Sitila to go straight into the final is sub 109.91.
Yeah, so far it's looking quite nice for her. We'll see the the second split time here. She's making up a little bit of time on Elena's middle section.
Well, she's well under Simona's split time. That's the important point here because that's the time she needs to beat. She doesn't need to beat Elena Lillich's time.
That's right.
She only needs to beat Simona Glechkova's time, and that's 5 seconds, nearly 6 seconds outside the top time at the moment. So she's well inside that. Even now, she's still well inside that time. So Anna Sitila, she doesn't do anything crazy here, can book herself a final, which she'll be so happy about after.
Yep, she's good there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she'll be floating into the finish.
Yep. So here we go, into the final, I think. Yes, safely into the final for Anna Sitila. That will be a huge weight off her shoulders because it's been a real struggle for her this year. So well done.
Here's the name I was mentioning earlier.
Yes.
Olja
Kozarog, 26 years of age. 10th at the 2021 World Championships. Always does her best, though, as Lois pointed out, on this course here in Tacen. They all do seem to. We saw in the men's as well. They seem to.
Oh no!
That's not the way it was meant to go.
Missing that cross just on the inside blade. It can be a bit tricky in canoe to hold your edge and blade and be strong.
Just after I began talking up how the locals know how to read this course.
That being said, she's a very strong paddler, so I think she'll be able to make up some of this time. They did put a review on 8, but I think that was a mistake of a button touch.
Right. So at the moment, again, it's still Glechkova's time that the athletes need to get under to get into the final. Glechkova's time, just repeating it for you, you can jot this down if you like at home, 109.91. That is the time that we're looking at the moment to get under if you want to go straight into the final. So Novak, sorry, not Novak, Kozarog she's picked up a bit of the speed at the bottom, but she's still well down on Lillich's time.
Yeah, she has to make 3 seconds up on her current time to be able to make it into that third position that would be a qualification. Oh, and missing this as well, and that's just not what she needed.
This is where we saw Evie Liedtvaart have some problems as well, but unfortunately I think that's too much now for Kozarov. It's going to put her out of the picture. Certainly for a top 5, she might still, I don't know that she's going to be even top 10, so.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Could be the afternoon over, I think. Unfortunately, yes, going into 11th position now, so the afternoon is over.
Yeah, you can see the shake of the head there. She's too pleased, I don't think.
No.
Here we have the younger of the Fox sisters,
Naomi Fox. She's done well there. Naomi Fox, so 8th at last year's World Championships. She was 6th in 2021 at the World Championships. Just would love to get her hands on a medal. Well, would love to get into a final because, and look at that, that can't be right.
No, I don't.
She's that far under. She's doing very, very well.
Yeah, that was on the second split.
Yeah, ignore that, folks, because she's doing well, but not that well. And she's had a review on 15. She's not even got to that gate yet. So
we're seeing a little bit of
some strange stuff happening here. Oh, Naomi's gone on the wrong side of that.
Not the end of the world. I think she can rectify that little early spin.
Tell you what, the Fox family will be very unhappy to know that they're reviewing a gate that she hasn't even been through yet. So
so Pete on there, but she'll keep the speed going on her boat, which is good to see.
Yep. So Naomi Fox, ignore that there's no review of 15. She's only just gone through 15 and it looked pretty clean. So.
And we're looking at 6 seconds behind Elena's time would be the qualification gap.
Yes, yes. We should have mentioned, by the way, Glechkova now through. So it's Eva Hosova who's waiting now with a time of 1:10.08. So Naomi Fox is going to be...
It'll be tight, sure.
Very tight for Naomi. She needs to really nail this last gate here. And she's done okay, but
she's done nicely, but I'm not sure if that's going to be quite enough.
It's not. She's going to be just out, which will mean she's got a nervous wait. She's going to be 7th.
I think rank 7th is going to be tricky for her to qualify for that final, unfortunately.
Yep. Brady Crawford getting some last-minute thoughts from the coach before he goes on. Now, Victoria Us, by the way, congratulations, Eva Hosova, you are into the final. Great result for her. Victoria Us, of course, a two-time Olympian, 4th here last year on this course, and I just love watching her paddle. She's always looking so driven and so focused and cleaning the water.
Yeah, that's her style.
Yep. And at the moment, clean run for Victoria Us from Ukraine. Does the K1 as well. Oh, nice. Wow, that was like a Ferrari.
Ballerina move.
It was a ballerina move.
Here we see her opting for the spin in gate 10. I really think that's the best option right now, especially for these last few boats that are going through that know they have the speed. They just need to go clean, and an option like that ensures that you get to the gate with minimal damage.
So the Miller family sitting at home in GB, or they may be here actually, I'm not sure, but time to get excited because your daughter is on the cusp of going into her first senior final, which would be a great moment for her. Her time was a 1:12.76. I think Victoria Us will go under there, so you might just have to pour yourself another very strong cup of tea.
Yeah, it's never a comfortable spot to be sitting on the bubble, being the next to qualify, because you're relying on the runs of very stand-up paddlers.
Yep.
So.
And at the moment, this has been a nice run from Victoria, so I think she will go under the 1:12 of Ellis Miller. And yes, easily.
Straight into the final. Victoria there.
Yep. So Victoria Us goes into the final. Now, Martina Satkova, the Czech, 10th in the World Championships last year. She's had some good results here. Not so much here, but sorry, Krakow has been a good happy hunting ground for her. We know how good the Czechs are.
Absolutely, and she qualified as well in the kayak semi-final, so she's been out paddling this morning and should be well warmed up for this run.
Her and her sister have been playing a bit of tag team this year. I think Martina was in Augsburg, Gabby was in Prague, and now Martina's back.
That's right, yeah. I know her sister is preparing for the European Games to perform well in Krakow.
Which, of course, is in a couple of weeks.
In a few weeks, I think.
Yep. Which a lot of the athletes have opted to do. Some of the athletes are using this event as a warm-up, though, which is not a bad idea. Get some race practice in.
That was a very nice back-off option there from Martina. Very fast, I think. We'll see her. Whoa.
So, again, it's still Ellis Miller waiting to see what will happen as Martina Satkova heads down the course. Ellis Miller with her time of 1:12.76, nervously waiting. She won't believe it if she makes the final, because I don't know that she was all that happy with her run at the end of it. But
that's the thing about starting early in the semi-final. You really don't know what there is to come.
Absolutely.
But Martina here so far You can see her just focusing on the gates. Oh, trying to hold it together.
Oh, she's missed that gate.
This is a really complicated move. We've seen, this is the third paddler we haven't expected to make a mistake here that we've seen.
Yes, it's proving problematic, isn't it? So some valuable time there lost for Martina Satkova. Can she pick it up, though?
That being said, she might still squeak in.
She's got to go under the 112. No.
She won't be in.
So
that's Ellis Miller with a Q. Congratulations,
put that cup of tea aside, Miller family, and get something out a bit stronger, because your daughter is into the final. Ellis Miller will be paddling for gold a little bit later on this afternoon. Will she be taking on Victoria Woolfart, the 2018 European champion?
Another paddler who knows this course extremely well. The Austrians spend a lot of time on Tacen, so we'll see what she can do.
And I sort of felt that in Prague last week she started to run into a bit of form, Vicky Woolfart. And the other thing that's giving her a bit of incentive here, not in the canoe but in the kayak, is Karina Kunle is here. Nothing like having a two-time Olympian breathing down your neck to make you paddle a little bit faster.
Absolutely.
But this is some good pace at the moment for Victoria Woolfart. She's going very nicely on that challenging part of the course.
Catching her edge right in that. That's a really tricky stopper, and we'll see.
Oh, dear. Vicky. Oh, no. She's... Oh dear, she's going to have to do a lot of work to get back there. I think she's given up the ghost on that one.
Well, I think she's coming around the river right side of that rock.
She's going to go back and try. She knows that you know, the times aren't great at the moment, but I don't know, you can lose that much time, can you?
No, I don't think she's counting on this to make a final, but I think she's showing her class there.
Yep.
Going back for it.
Now, what that means is that Ivana Slabova from Slovakia, with a time of 1:12.9, could be our next athlete into the final. And yeah, look at that, 27 seconds down. Unfortunately, she lost so much time, Vicky Woolfart.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for her. Time and energy lost.
What happened? How did you read it?
She just caught her. I think she just caught her edge in that stopper, and it just flipped her.
And then when she tried to get up, it flipped again. So
yeah, the water there is very unstable, so it's hard to stay upright, and then it can be hard to right yourself after.
Good practice though for her ahead of the kayak cross, where you have to do a roll.
That's right. Yeah.
She's already had a crack at it. I don't know if she's doing the kayak cross. But Vicky Woolfart coming down now. She will not be in the final, but Ivana Slabova will be in the final from Slovakia. So that'll mean a couple of Slovaks in the final, which is always challenging for the rest of the field. Now, Sophie Ogilvie, her teammate is already into the final, Ellis Miller. What can Sophie do? She's looking to boot out Naomi Fox.
Yeah, Noemi will be waiting with anticipation there. She does know she's 9 seconds off the pace, so I think it'll be a mistake from a paddler that will let her into the final. But
and there it is.
Yeah.
And there it is. Sophie Ogilvie, you've got to go back now and do that gate. Is it going to be too much time for her to make it? Oh, and then a touch on the way through. So unfortunately for Sophie, time lost having to paddle back and then brushing the gate. So a combination there of errors, which is going to make it very hard, I think, Lois, for her to go under the time, under Naomi Fox's time of 1:13.57.
Yeah, I think she'll be just a little bit off that pace. Yeah, she's close. She's 10 seconds back, so I think she'll and she also, yeah, you can see just
and now she's been pushed out.
Lost a little bit of stability, I think, also.
So tough going for Sophie Ogilvie, but the Brits will okay, that's it over. That's game over now, unfortunately for Sophie Ogilvie, but the Brits will have someone to cheer on because Ellis Miller is through to the final. She's about to be joined by Naomi Fox as well. Sophie Ogilvie put this down as a learning experience. One of the young guns from GB, Team GB, crosses in 14th position. Just 10 go through to the final. So
yeah, it's disappointing for her, unfortunately, but that's the way of the road.
Now, Marta Bertoncelli, who I had a bit of a chat to the other day, she's brimming with confidence here. She really thinks that she can put down some good strong runs here again from the strong Italian team who train here a lot. So I think anything short of a final would be a great disappointment for Marta. She looked great in the qualifying run, going through second fastest behind Jessica Fox.
Yeah, we were in the training slots with them, and you definitely see she knows the course here. You just watching her paddle, you can see she knows where the good spots are to be. So
the tricky thing is for her is that the person waiting at the moment is Elena Borghi.
Yeah, Italian versus Italian.
Yep.
And I know they're also very good friends, so that's...
Yes, they are. So...
never comfortable, but
Marshall,
they're also good competitors, so that's...
Indeed, indeed. And of course, later on this year, they'll be both competing for that one Olympic spot, that one qualifying spot for the Olympics. So may as well get an early one in, an early victory in here, I reckon, just for the psychological effect. Marta Bertoncelli, all clean so far. The time she needs to go under is Elena Borghi's 1:14.49. At this stage, she's tracking well under that.
Yeah, we saw a little mistake from her around gate 10. She opted for an extra spin that I don't think she'd initially planned on, but it seems to be paying off. It was a physically forgiving option to take, and here we see that paying off. She's made up 2 seconds on Elena's speed in the middle section. And here finishing up another clean run. So that's
and well under the 110. Straight into second. She's pretty happy. You could hear it. I hope you could pick that up on the effects mic. She's very happy to have got through. And there's
a shot of Elena.
Yeah, she's thinking, who's going? Oh, she said Jess Fox. She'll let me in.
Yeah.
Well, let me just remind you at home, Jess Fox, she is the Olympic champion. She's also undefeated this year in the C1. She's won both World Cups. And if you're banking on her to go outside 1:14.49 to get yourself in a final, then good luck. But let's see what Jess can do. The Eleanor Lillick's time was a 1:04.09, which would make me think that Jess could go around a 1:02 if she really puts this together.
Yeah, well, let's see what Jess can do here.
Brimming with confidence at the moment, won the double last week. Interesting statistic, Lois, she's never not won a gold medal in Tacen since 2013. Every time she's come here, she's won at least one gold medal.
Is that right? Wow, look at that. That is the movement of a champion. She avoided a touch there just based off of nothing. She was able to avoid that touch, which is phenomenal. And you can see she had a mistake, but she didn't add a touch into that mistake, so she'll still be on pace to do everything okay, hopefully, for the rest of this run.
She's well outside Lillick's time, but she's not going to panic. She knows how much breathing room there is between the first time and the 10th time at the moment. There's about 10 seconds, so as long as she stays under 10 seconds difference, she'll be safely into the final.
Yeah, we do know this is a tricky combination here, and she's pushing, and yeah, she's well through those gates, which is good.
Oh, she didn't look confident though, did she? She had a look of anguish on her face there for a little bit, but she's recovered okay now. So coming down now for this last combination, and Jessica Fox is safely through, about fourth achieved. Let's see, going through now. Yep, right on fourth spot into the final. Not the greatest run she's ever done, but she won't care.
Yeah.
In fact, she looks a bit. And there's Sister Nomi, who'd be very happy as well, because she is also into the final. 2 foxes in the final.
That's right, yeah.
Two foxes in the chicken coop, Lois, for the final. Not sure that anyone likes that situation. There we go. Look at that, though. Have a look at your finalists, folks. Lillick, Bertoncelli, Satilla, Fox, Oos, Lechtikova, Hosova, Miller, Shlabova, and Fox. What do you think?
I think this is going to be quite an interesting final to be watching. We've seen a few mistakes, a few names we might have expected to be in that final absent, but nonetheless, 10 very good paddlers we'll be watching in a couple hours.
Yep, and a chance for all those 10 athletes you would think will be absolutely exhausted after that challenging run. They've now got to go and work out some way to recover that strength and maybe have a quick feed, maybe have a nap for half an hour if they've got time, just to replenish the body.
Yeah, I think everybody's a little bit different in what they like to do in between runs, but there we see a smile from Ellis. That's good, as she should now that she's into that final. That
was the incident I was telling you about with Claudia, with the gate hitting her in the face. So the men, of course, would have been watching on with anticipation. wonder what they would have read into that about what some of the moves are that they could make. Obviously, the men do some of the things quite differently. They might take a few more risks. But I think they'll be very interested in a couple of those combinations on where they could possibly make up time.
Yeah, I think there'll be some interesting options in the C1 men category, especially because a lot of them don't switch. So they're stuck on either the left side or the right side. And some of these combinations might be trickier for one side or the other.
For sure. For sure. So we're about, looks like, I wonder if Naomi Fox has got a bit of an injury there. Mum's having a good look at it anyway. Well done to our camera operators for catching that. Naomi Fox will be the first paddler on the course, which I don't think is a bad thing in a final, Lois. I reckon if you're the first one out there, you've got nothing to beat.
Yep.
You're going to set a time that everybody, and there's Vicky Wolfhard. Oh my goodness, that did not go well for Vicky, unfortunately. You set a time for everyone else to beat, and then you just sit there and watch and see how everyone goes.
Yeah, I think it's 20 minutes of anticipation, but if you put a good run down at the beginning, then you can be pretty confident.
Marta Bertoncelli, second in qualifying, second in the semis, and here's where I thought Jess looked like she was in some trouble. She lost some time there, and if you read into her expression there, she was not happy with that run.
Yeah, despite being one of the winningest canoe slalom athletes of all time, Jess is extremely humble.
Yes.
And but is always pushing for more. So.
Yes, indeed. So now, this does throw it right open now. The men's competition, of course, 30 athletes in the men. Now, the big thing is here, we talked about the Slovenians, Lois, this afternoon and how they've all taken the afternoon off. The reason a lot of them have taken the afternoon off is they've got two pretty decent athletes going around in this semi-final, an Olympic champion and a multiple World Cup gold medalist, both in action here on the course, and the Slovenians love a winner.
They do.
And I think we're going to see some pretty good racing.
Yes, there's no secret that Savsek and Bozic are here to win, so that'll be a good race to watch.
Indeed. So there we are. We're having a look at the field there. Adam Burgess, I think, is certainly in the mix. Of course, the Italians, Roberto Colazingari, he's won here before. He knows this course so well. And Rafael Evaldi, he's been fast all season, and if he's going to nail a race, it's going to be here, I think, today. Luka Bozic there, sorry, Lois. Luka Bozic. Of course, the Slovenians, it's a classic Bozic and Savsek. They're both incredible paddlers. And Luka Bozic has not seen an Olympics yet because he's always been held out. Now, there you go, folks. Folks, an exclusive look inside ground control. There's David Bowie in the background there, just gesticulating with his hands. And a few other people there. Major Tom sitting in the front there. So that is ground control, where it all happens, where all the big decisions are made, where people's races are won and lost.
Yeah. Decisions are made and confirmed. And here we have a shot of Savsek.
Benjamin Savsek, Mr. Cool. There's the Australians, Tristan Carter with the do. Tristan Carter, he was hobbling around the breakfast room the other morning because apparently, believe it or not, Lois, the Australian men decided to have a handstand competition to see who could walk the furthest on their hands, which sounded like a good idea in theory. Don't tell me, and don't ask me how, but somehow Tristan Carter, he got absolutely no distance on his hands, and then when he corrected himself, he landed awkwardly on his ankle. So he was hobbling around the breakfast room.
Oh dear. Well, hopefully it doesn't hurt him too much sitting in his canoe.
No, I asked him, I said, is it going to affect your paddling? He goes, no, I'll be fine.
That's good.
Which is what you would say when the coach is wanting to know why you've got a bad ankle.
Kawa da Silva yesterday went for the direct option on gate 3, 4, 5, and he nearly missed the semi-final because of that option. He got a very flat wave and he had to pull himself extremely hard up into that upstream gate, but he had better luck today with that wave and with the spin option.
Yep, so. He was the last man into the final, which is why he's the first man off from Brazil. 7th at the Under-23 World Championships last year, which is a mighty... a bit of panel beating on the front of the boat. Just give a bit of a nudge into the Ljubljana rockery.
Yeah, good to see Kawa here in the semi-final. It might be his first one.
Certainly his first senior one.
Yeah.
I think he's done some underage stuff, which has been quite good. As I said, 7th at the World Champs last year, under 23, so that was a mighty fine effort. This is his first big chance at a Senior World Cup to get into a final, and he's going to set the very first time on the course.
So far clean, which is good to see.
Yep. So 104.9 was the time of Eleanor Lillick, which, as it turns out, was very slippery indeed. Get an idea how the men stack up alongside that. So De Silva just over the 100 mark. You would have to think that the best men will go 95, 94, 95 easily.
I think, yeah, well within the 94 range.
Yep.
We have a young Czech paddler.
Yep, Martin Kratečvil from the Czech Republic, just 19 years of age, so he's still a teenager, and a junior silver medalist from 2021, Lois. So, as we know with the Czechs, they have so much depth.
Yeah, and starting off this run seemingly very explosively.
Yep. And nice and clean at the moment too for Kratečvil from the Czech Republic. Of course, there's a logjam in front of him if he wants to get into the senior team on a regular basis, with the likes of
Hager and
Yuri Prišković now, and Lucas Rowan, the Olympic medalist, of course. So a lot of guys, but he's a patient man. I think he's only 19, so his best years are still in front of him. But he'd love to make a bit of an impression here, I think, to just remind.
Oh dear, that's unfortunate. Catching his edge there.
Yep. You do not need to do oh, he's going to try this. Okay, good luck. Well done.
We'll be getting back on track here, but knowing he's made a mistake that is a bit too grave to be into the final.
Yeah.
But
a lot of time lost there for Martin Kratečvil from the Czech Republic. So I don't think that he is going to see any finals action, but we have a long way to go, of course. In this, we have 30 athletes altogether on the course, of which just 10 will go through. And as I mentioned, it's a quality field. We've got world champions, we've got Olympic champions, and we've got a lot of, and there's a bit of a lazy touch, if I can say that. They're really quite unnecessary, just as he went through and brushed it with his hand. So
yeah, it's unfortunate when those things happen, a lack of attention sometimes, moment of inattention, and you can see him shake his head. He's unhappy with that.
Yep. And the coach also not giving anything away there, still stony-faced.
We have Alex Baldoni from Canada.
Yes. I don't know that, has Alex ever made a senior final?
Final, no.
No.
But he's been in a couple semi-finals.
Yep.
And he's looking to find his footing in a semi-final, because he definitely has the speed to be in a final. So
I think he had a couple of good results as a junior, I remember. So.
And he's still a U23, so he'll be in Krakow at the Under-23 World Championships to play with that age category championships.
Yep. So it would be nice for his confidence to get a good run here. And again, I don't think you should read anything into that split time.
Yeah.
It's definitely not right.
The .36. Oh, taking a touch there. That was really unfortunate, just with his paddle shaft. But staying dry in this move. And you can see how tricky it is with that edge. He battled, but he made it across, but not probably just quite as quickly as he was hoping so far. But you can see the concentration on his face. He'll be pulling all the way to the end.
So where is Alex based mostly? Where does he do most of his training, Lois?
He's based in Pau.
Our
national training center for the Canadian team is in Pau, France, where Alex's family actually lives.
So he gets a lot of chance to practice on the very good white water there. That's
right, yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a World Cup in Pau this year, but we do have one just down the road from where Alex is, in Seo, of course, in Spain.
Yeah.
Which should be exciting. It's our World Cup final later on this year. No, sorry, it's not our World Cup final. It's our next World Cup, in fact, and then we go to London for the World Championships, which will also be the Olympic qualifiers, and then off to Paris for a World Cup on the Olympic course.
Yeah, that'll be the Olympic test event as well.
It's going to be exciting, isn't it?
We have a Chinese athlete.
This is his very first World Cup.
Wow.
From my understanding. So he's never competed at a senior World Cup before. He's 23 years of age, and he's getting a chance on one of the toughest stages of in the world to show us what he's made of.
Wow,
And whoa,
opting for the direct here.
look at that move.
Oh, but not paying off. Missing that wave
Yep.
is much more costly than a spin there.
So this is all experience, most definitely, for Yang Kong Zai from China. And sorry, yes, that's right, from China, and at his very first event, getting a chance here to show us what he's made of.
Yeah, we'll see how this time goes. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's maybe the fastest run we're going to see today, but he is putting together a very solid run. So.
I'll tell you, I told a lie. This is not his first. He has been at events before, but he's rarely made semi-finals. So this is a big step up for him here to compete at a semi-final level. He certainly came out of the gates pretty bold, but unfortunately, as Lois said, took a wrong line there and paid the price. And now his time is slipping away. No penalties, so it's been clean, but just lost a lot of time. The line that he took at the top, and they're not too bad there either. But again, when you think that the Eleanor Lulick's time was a 104.9, all these guys are going outside her time at the moment. So, wow, that was a good time from Lulick, wasn't it? Nod of the head there from the Chinese support team. They obviously know that that's not going to be good enough, but they've got another couple of athletes to come. Now, Peter Linkstead from Great Britain, another of the athletes who is taking advantage of an opportunity to get a race with a couple of the athletes not here. And he is still just 22 years of age. Finished 6th at an under-23 World Championship. So this is a good opportunity for him here to get up close. Maybe a top 15 result, I think Peter would be pretty happy about.
Yeah, I think he definitely has some speed. Maybe looking for a little bit more senior experience to be confident in those semifinals, just to be showing his pace to make those finals.
It is wide open, of course, and there's so many.
And he's fighting, and he just came a bit short on 11. He'll have to loop there. Not the worst thing, but not the fastest thing either.
So Ryan Wesley, who was meant to be competing, he got injured.
Okay, yeah, I did see at a DNS yesterday.
And he is already back in the UK, I believe, and he said he'd be watching. So good afternoon to you, Ryan. I know you'll be cheering Peter on here, hoping he can get himself into the final. But we wish Ryan a speedy recovery. We hope it doesn't hold him off from going to the Europeans and, of course, the World Championships next year. But there's some very good GB canoe paddlers who are waiting in the wings if Ryan doesn't get there, because when it comes down to it, Lois, it's all about getting a quota, of course, at Lee Valley. You don't qualify the athlete, you qualify the boat. So it doesn't matter who gets the quota. In the end, then the teams need to go and determine who they're going to. There's Chris Bowers there. The teams need to decide who they will send to the Olympics with that quota.
Yeah, that's right. We have another athlete from China.
Now this is the athlete. Yes, this is the athlete who is competing at his first World Cup.
Okay. Well, congratulations to him for his first World Cup and his first semi-final being in the same race.
Yes, that's not a bad start to your career. And on Tacen as well, so he could retire now a happy man probably, but I'm sure he doesn't want to, because he's only 23 years of age and he has put together a couple of nice moves at the top of the course at this stage.
Yeah, fighting a little bit there. Yeah. Cost him a little bit.
I know we're only 5 athletes in, but we have not had an athlete go under the 100 yet, which you're definitely going to need to do to get into a final.
Yeah, I think the
men's C1.
The final time cutoff will be quite fast.
Yeah. But look at this run here. This is the best run we've seen so far of the semi-final from a man on his World Cup debut. So maybe when you have no fear, when you've got nothing to lose, Lois, you just throw it out there and sometimes you get good results. So look at that, he's up on the split. He's up on the split. This would be a dream international canoeing debut for him. If he can put this together and come out with a 98 or a time around there, that'd be perfect for him to sit back in the stands and watch everybody else do. Oh, that is a great balancing
that
act.
Rotation there.
Now he can't get going again. But
yeah, I think he lost a little bit of time there. Unfortunately, we seemed behind on that last split just before the finish line. So
such a good run up until then as well. He's still going to be just over the 100, I think, unfortunately, which...
I think he touched that pole, yeah.
Yep. Oh, so the bottom part of the course is where it all fell apart, unfortunately, for Zhihao Chen, but it is a learning experience. He can go back now and look at the tape and work out where it went wrong at the bottom of the course, but I don't think he's going to find that is enough for some finals. Now, another of the Chinese athletes, they've all done very well here. Peng Zhang, and again, here's an athlete who hasn't been competing that we've not seen, I believe, Lois, since 2018 on the international circuit. So, you know, the Chinese have brought a big team here, but they're all pretty inexperienced. They're all paddlers who... Oh, there's a 2-second penalty there. So they're all paddlers who haven't been around for a long time, just getting their chance to get back into the system. You wonder where they've all been and what they've all been doing.
Yeah, I think they're coming out just in that pre-Olympic year to qualify some quotas at the World Championships. And also, I know that you have to race at the World Championships to be able to qualify at the Continental Championships. So even if they don't qualify in London, they'll have the opportunity to qualify at the Asian Championships.
Yep. So very important that they actually get to London. It doesn't matter who goes to London, as long as the team is represented there. There will be athletes. They can have totally different athletes if they want.
That's right.
At the Continental. So where are your Continental? It's Chile this year, aren't they?
That's our Pan Am Games, but they're not the Olympic qualifiers. We have the Pan Am Championships in 2024 will be the Olympic quota qualifications for the Americas.
And where are they going to be?
They're going to be in Rio de Janeiro.
On the Olympic course? Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
We don't have a date confirmed yet, but it should be around March or April.
Of course, it won't matter to you because you'll already be qualified, Canada. I'm sure you'll have a... So look at that. We have a new race leader, and for the first time an athlete goes under the 100 mark. So well done, Peng Zhang, on his return to international racing. The Chinese team look reasonably happy. There's a couple of smiles there, I think. They have a athlete in the mix.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the 98 will quite stick for a final, but it was a very nice run from Peng Zhang.
So now the first of our German paddlers, Lennart Tuschra, won a European bronze in the under-23s last year, and as you just saw on the screen, a former world under-23 bronze as well. So done well at the underage competitions. Now it's his time to step up in the senior ranks and try and get himself into a final here. And well, if you looked at the time now, he's well in reach because there's not a lot of great times on the board already. So a good run here, solid run without penalties.
And that was a very nice 9, 10, 11. So that'll be good, looking good for him for so far down the course. So
the Germans have sent quite a strong team here. We'll see some of the big name athletes competing over the next couple of days here, but Lennart Tuschra had not had a lot of racing this year, so getting a chance to... And there's a big touch.
Big touch on gate 18, unfortunately.
Well spotted by the cameras. They must have known something in advance, but he's still under the split even with that touch.
Yeah, very fast time from Leonard. Just 2 more gates now. Hopefully he can stay clean on those and going for the
direct
option there.
And there as well. So we're going to have a new leader. So now we're starting to see how to put the runs together on the course with
so it was a 93.58 running raw time. So that is lots of speed. Indicates maybe we'll see closer to 90 seconds from our top paddlers today.
Yep, I think so. I mean, if Benny Savsek can't go down in around 90, I'll be very surprised. Now, we saw Katja Ben-Carey earlier on from Croatia. This is her 18-year-old brother, Rocco, who's stepping out to compete. He Represents Croatia. Obviously, he was 9th in the European Juniors back in 2020, so getting a chance at the Senior World Cup level to have a go.
Yeah, one of the few men that doubles in canoe and in kayak, but we're seeing more and more. The boys feeling strong enough to do 2 categories. That's good.
I sort of feel now, Lois, that Jiri Priskovic has done it and done it well and succeeded. That there might be a few others who might think, well, it gives me an extra chance for an Olympic medal.
Sure, yeah.
Why wouldn't I give it a go?
Well, Rocco's saving that line there. Maybe not exactly his first plan, but he came pretty well, pulled it together.
Still clean, though, the man from Croatia, the teenager from Croatia. Getting some really strong support there from the sidelines. Of course, it's a great setting here in Tacen. There's the beautiful grassy hills there, which I'm sure will be packed in about an hour or so when we have the final, because I expect there'll be a couple of Croatians, a couple of Slovenians who'll be going for gold. Yeah. Oh, did he get out of it? I think he got out of that.
He's okay. Yeah, just
not there though.
Not able to stay clean.
Yep. But maybe another touch there as well.
That's
so
unfortunate.
Yep. Again, an athlete who had a good top part of the course, but not holding it together down the bottom. Crosses the line though, and as one of his first Senior World Cup outings, it's certainly not the worst result for Rocco Bengeri from Croatia. You can see the Croatian fans are here. Maybe that's the Bengeri family here watching. Is that his sister?
I think that was his sister.
Look at that camera operators on the ball, aren't they?
Yeah. Here we have Jake Cochran from Ireland, one of the strong Irish C1s. There's quite a good depth of field on their senior team this year. So.
And again, there's a touch though for Jake. Again, they spend a lot of time in Po as well, don't they? Training at Po.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we spent all winter training there, and the Irish were there the whole time as well. Liam Jagu and Jake.
Yeah. People listening and watching at home might think, oh, it's a good life these slalom paddlers have, but it's pretty tough, isn't it? I mean, unless you're from one of these nations that are incredibly well funded and put you in nice hotels and make sure you get meals every day, it's not. And there's another touch, unfortunately, for Jake. It's not that easy, is it, Lois?
No, it's a lot of time away from home, but
yeah,
you know, some days are easier than others, and the good days make it all worth it.
Yes, and if you can get there and fulfill your dream and get to an Olympics, well, I'm sure you would think it was definitely worth it. So a couple of touches here for Jake Cochran from Ireland. So
yeah, a little off the pace for Jake, which is too bad.
Yeah,
I think he has a lot of speed potential, and it's too bad. I don't think today is going to be his day to make it into a final.
No. There was talk at some stage, the Dublin City Council, I think it was, were talking about building a whitewater centre in the middle of town in Dublin, which would have been very exciting. But I don't know where that is at the moment. I don't know whether that's still on the cards or whether they've scrapped the plan. But it'd be fantastic if they get a venue in the heart of Dublin. Everyone will put their hands up to go there and have a paddle, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Our second GB athlete.
Yeah, now I think this will give us a real indication, I think, Lois, of for the men, what sort of time we can expect. Because Adam Burgess is pretty formidable, under 23 world champion from a couple of years back now, though, but he's always thereabouts, isn't he? We know he's fast.
Absolutely. He didn't qualify in the fastest time, but that doesn't mean he can't turn it around today in the semi-final and qualify for a final.
So you would expect if anyone's going to go down towards the 90 mark, it will be Adam Burgess. Let's see. I don't want to put the kiss of death on him. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but look at that. Whoa, nice move. That was smooth.
That was very smooth, using the water very nicely there. And here as well, just setting himself up for a really nice spin into the upstream right here.
So it's coming together quite nicely for him. At the moment, Leonard Tusha's time is a 97.58, but that's with 4 seconds of penalty, so
there's definitely room.
Most certainly. Most certainly. And I think from memory that Tusha got into trouble down the yeah, gates 14 and gates 18 is where he touched. So at the moment,
Adam's going a little bit wide there in that upstream, but it didn't hurt his stagger afterwards. So that's good to see.
And he's now under the split, so it's coming together well for Adam Burgess. He's looking at a time of around 94. I think if he can nail this gate, good move. So about 94 seconds for Adam Burgess. That'll put him into the lead.
Yeah, finishing in at 96.11.
Yep.
He'll be waiting to see if that'll be enough for a final, and he gave a thumbs up, so he's happy with the run.
Happy to be clean, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully it's enough for him to show again just how fast he is in the final.
Just using the Adam Burgess scary face just to keep the gate at bay. Sometimes you can scare a gate, I'm told, so it doesn't come anywhere near you. Now, Mark Crosby, young guy from Australia who surprised last year by winning the Junior World Championship title, which was celebrated wildly and widely in Australia. So it's great to see Mark Crosby out here now competing in a Senior World Cup and showing us what he can do.
And so far so good.
Yeah,
in the first few gates.
Nice. So the Crosby family, they'll be sitting up late now in Australia, where it's ticking up towards 11:30 at night on the East Coast. So
very nice.
Yeah, late evening for the Crosbys, watching on as Mark shows us what he can do on this combination here. A very good move from Mark Crosby. So staying clean. As we mentioned, Adam Burgess' time of 96.11 was a good marker, what everybody else needs to go with. And at this stage, Mark Crosby's well and truly in touch with Adam Burgess' time, just less than a second outside.
Yeah, we see Mark switching, which means that all of the difficult moves he'll be doing on his onside rather than on his offside, and that might pay off quite significantly towards the end of this course.
Ooh,
wow, that was a
lovely.
very nice gate 18.
Well done, Mark. This is nice. Now, can you finish it off? It's a young man here, really 19 years of age, so still a teenager.
Wow, really just nailing the bottom of this course. Hopefully he can sneak through these last two gates
Well
clean.
done. What
Yeah.
a great run by this young man, Mark Crosby. Be proud, Australia. This is a really good run. He's second at the moment. He's pretty happy.
Very nice run, yeah.
He's pretty happy with that. A bit of a fist bump. And the Australian contingent there, they'd be pretty stoked for Mark. It might not get him into a final, but I mean, gee, he's posted a clean run on a difficult course.
Definitely a run to be proud of, so it's really nice to see.
Yeah. Now, Wojtek Heger from the Czech Republic, just 22 years of age, Wojtek, and he was third in the Under-23 World Championships last year. He's an Under-23 European champion from 2020 and 2022. So, outstanding results at an age group level. Ready now, I think, to show us what he's made of at a Senior World Cup.
Yeah, he's one of the first paddlers we saw really switching on the senior stage. Not first, but consistently switching. He doesn't do a lot of offside strokes.
Now, for people watching at home, just explain switching.
Yeah, so we'll see here, there we go. He was paddling on his right side, and then he just switched to have the paddle on his left-hand side of his boat rather than having to take cross-bow strokes, so strokes across the bow of the boat, so, which allows you to be stronger and more in control, but you do lose a little bit of time when you switch, and you also risk dropping your paddle or making mistakes or not having a control stroke in the water as you're doing your switch. So there are benefits to both choices.
And you would have to assume, for most athletes, they'll have a weaker side. So if you switch to the left but you're a right-hander, then you're not going to be as strong, are you? So there's a potential there for you to lose some time.
Yeah.
But at this stage, he's put together a good run, just the one gate touch.
Yeah, it's pretty costly for him, actually. His speed is nice, but the touch is going to put him behind. Yeah, a little bit behind in his running time, as well as the touch, putting him into a...
I think he might have expected a little bit better on this run. Now there is the young Yuri Priskovic there with watching on, because Dad is about to go out on the course.
Yeah, there was Yuri Senior and Yuri Junior.
Both.
Here's Yuri the middle.
Yep. I asked him the other week, what is it with the Mickey Mouse ears? But it's a love heart. I mean, I'm not up on this sort of thing, Lois. I'm a bit slow on the uptake, but it is a love heart, apparently. But Jiri Priskovic, who, need I remind you, watching at home, that this is his first year doing C1. Of course, he is the Olympic K1 champion. Last week, I have to say, Lois, in the semi-final, it was one of the best runs I saw put down all weekend.
Yeah, it was an absolutely phenomenal semi-final from Jiri. It was too bad he wasn't able to put together the exact same run in a final, because he had a crazy fast run there.
Yeah, and it just showed how quickly he's adapted to this sport, to this form of discipline. Of course, the big difference with canoe compared to kayak, of course, is just the one blade. And of course they're kneeling. You can't tell by looking, but they are kneeling in their boat, which adds extra difficulties there. But Jiri Priskovic made a promise to himself that if he won a gold medal in Tokyo, he'd find a new challenge. And that challenge is doing the canoe. And he really has. I mean, he's already picked up a bronze medal. He's made 2 finals. Is today going to be final number 3?
His pace is a little bit off today. I'm wondering if the challenging water is something he's used to in kayak, but a little less so in canoe.
So let's see. He's going to be. He's not going to be the fastest time. Could be around 4th fastest though at this stage. If he. Yep, right on 4th fastest now for Jiri Priskovic. A bit of a fist punch there. So obviously he thinks, you know, there we are. Concentrate. What are they saying? What's the message there? There's Lucas. Oh no, it's not Lucas. So
our first Slovenian coming down the course here.
A young man, just 2019 junior world champion, Nec Palenci. Fresh-faced, eager to impress, and he's out on the water here. The crowd are now starting to get a bit excited because they love their hometown paddlers. And this man now, he's got 2 formidable men in front of him to get onto the Slovenian team.
That's really unfortunate. He opted for the direct option here, and I really don't think it's going to pay off for anybody. So far, we haven't seen it work. So
surprised that a local paddler would do it.
That being said, he is a left-handed paddler, so it is a harder offside spin.
Good point.
So
Yep.
He might have looked at it, said, I feel more confident trying it direct, and that's what he opted for.
That's what happens when you lose a bit of time at the top of the course. You need to find ways to pick it up, and you're going to take risks. If it pays off, well and good, but you've got to risk it for the biscuit, don't you, Lois?
That's right.
At the moment, he's really throwing everything at this course. Oh, maybe a brush there. I'm not sure. The judges will have to decide on that. But at this stage, his time is quite a bit outside that of Adam Burgess, who's sitting at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think we're looking at about halfway through this final. So Nej was our 15th paddler.
Yep.
So we're looking at 5 more boats before we see any cues. But I'm guessing that time from Adam will stand.
Yeah, I think he can start clearing his diary for about an hour from now, and he'll be required at the top of the course to paddle for gold. Nec Palenci, no final for him today, unfortunately. And there we are, the traditional Slovenian coach's outfit. A couple of brushes there. Unfortunately, there you can see 2 gate touches there. Great work, by the way. Big thumbs up to our camera operators today. They're doing a great job picking up lots of really interesting action. Now, Mr. Brodie Crawford from Australia, wanting to get into his first Senior World Cup final. One of the nicest blokes in the business, and it would be nice to see Brodie through to a final.
Absolutely, yeah.
If he doesn't make it, then he'll have to sit here in the commentary box with me. And I'm sure he'd much rather be out on the course.
Yeah.
Sitting here. What do you mean, yeah? Yes, no, but of course he'll want to be paddling. Brodie, of course, he was 9th at the Under-23 World Championships back in 2018. Hasn't really recaptured that form since then. He always promises a lot, and he always looks good on the water, but oh, and there's a little bit of panel beating there for Brodie. You might have heard that in the effects, Mike. This is
I think he's still keeping his speed.
Yeah, and he's
on the boat. I don't think it's.
He's not out of touch. He's clean, which is important, and he's within touch if he can hold it together without any mistakes here for the big Western Australian Brodie Crawford. He's relocated to the East Coast now to focus on his training at Penrith and really loving the sport. But here we go. Can he finish off here and get us a time around 96 seconds? That would be useful, Brodie, if you can put that together. I think he's going to be just over that, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can see he had lost his time at the top. At his middle section, he barely lost any time,
yep.
but still a little too much.
Yeah. So here is a bunch of Australians. I don't know what the collective noun for galahs, I think is the collective noun for Australians.
A galah.
Bunch of galahs. I just made that up. It seems appropriate though. Now the first of our two Senegalese, they're brothers. Yves Bourres is now on the course. 7th in Po in 2020, which of course, as soon as you say 2020, you go, well, how did they get a World Cup? That was one of just 2 World Cups we held in that COVID year.
Yeah, what a wild year.
What a wild year. We had a World Cup here, and then we had a World Cup in Po. And it was incredible, really, that we got those events underway and we did those. It was strange times indeed, I've got to say. I've never had so many things stuck up my nose in one year as I did in that year. It was quite unsettling.
Yeah, I think Yves here is holding it together quite nicely for the start of this run. A little bit of time lost compared to Adam, but Adam had a very, very smooth start to his race. So let's see what the second split brings here.
His brother, of course, is Jean-Pierre, who's been to a couple of Olympic Games, representing Senegal, of course, but both the boys are, I think they're both in France.
Yeah.
So doing Senegal proud, and there's always a lot of rivalry. Oh,
here we see Yves opted for the S option there. Something probably he was more comfortable than an offside upstream in a hole.
Is that the first S we've seen on there?
He did it in the qualifications. But I think we haven't seen anybody else do that.
No, we have not. So there we go, busting a move. And just outside, I think the 100, just under the 100. So I don't know. I don't think we're not even into the top 10 yet. So I don't think, unfortunately for Yves, that's going to do him much good.
Yeah, a little shake of the head from him at the bottom too. Yeah. I don't think he thinks.
Now, Mr. Handstands, Tristan Carter, what he would give to get into a final. We know he's fast. Every time he comes down here, he is super fast across the water. Sometimes gets little mistakes that are quite costly. But if he can put together a run without any penalties, then I can tell you he will be in the final this afternoon. He's that fast, but the challenge is to stay out of trouble here for Tristan.
Yeah, he's managed the first few gates quite nicely, and he did catch that wave, so that's an added bonus, but a required bonus.
But at the moment, he's on a good split, so going well, Tristan Carter. Nice move through that combination as well. So Tristan Carter from Australia trying to...
I'm surprised by that.
That doesn't seem right.
Time. I'm not sure if that's quite right.
I don't think so. I can't see that Adam Burgess was 6 seconds quicker at the top of the course.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see on the second one if it's a little more reasonable.
Because at the moment, I've got to say, there we go. That's much more like it. So he's under the split of Adam Burgess. You can hear the Australian support team really getting behind Tristan Carter. They'd love to see him in a final, because if they can get him into a final, I reckon they'd rank him as a chance for a medal on his very, very best form. So a good combination at the moment from Tristan Carter. He seems to be much better at paddling than he is at walking on his hands, which is...
well in touch with that split time.
Yep. So here he comes, Tristan Carter. If he can get this right, well done, Tristan Carter. I think we're going to see him in a time that will put him close to the final. He will be stoked.
Coming in just a half second ahead of Adam, but a half second is what it takes to inch ahead. Yeah,
Tim Anderson there giving him a bit of a clap, because we might have an Australian in the final, and it's been long overdue, I have to say, for Tristan Carter. The Carter family back in Australia, you're going to have a little bit of a later night tonight. You might have been thinking, well, might go to bed before midnight, but you're going to be up.
I think on Tristan's run, but I'm not sure.
It's definitely not for a 50, I don't think. It's a 2-second review, but even with that 2-second review, he'll be pretty close. There's Tristan currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard, and Mark Crosby sitting third, so...
Looking good for the Australians so far.
Be good?
Oh, and here goes Jean-Pierre Bourris, Yves' older brother, fighting to catch that wave after going direct.
Oh, he's in big trouble there. He's lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, you've been telling Lois, you've been telling people since the get-go, don't go direct there, and nobody's listened to you, and they're all paying the price. So that, I think there's something out with the split times that's definitely not right. He was much slower than Tristan Carter through there, I think. So,
catching his edge here in the rotation.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of difficulty in this gate combination between 9 and 11.
So valuable time lost again, unfortunately for Jean-Pierre. And he's going to find it very difficult to get up there in a time. I mean, anything over 100, you're definitely out of the picture.
Yeah, here we see the second split ringing a little more true, unfortunately, for Jean-Pierre.
Yeah. So we are now, this is, we've got one more paddler, and then we're into the top 10. So it's starting to look pretty good for Tristan Carter. The asterisk has come off his name, by the way, so no penalties for Tristan Carter, and his time of 95.67 will be very tough to beat.
Yeah, I think Tristan, Adam, maybe even Mark could be looking at final today here.
I mean, we still have the names of Benush, Savchek, Kolozingari, Evaldi and Bozic to come, amongst a couple of others.
Absolutely, it's not going to be easy for them, but
no,
there are a lot of mistakes that we've seen from paddlers.
Yep.
High ranked, and
yeah. Now, Paolo Tacen from Italy, again another paddler who spends a lot of time on this course. He was second in the under-23 World Championships way back in 2015, so we've waited a long time to see the best of Paolo Tacen since then. Oh, and there's a touch with his back. So we are now at the stage where after Paolo, we're going to start putting some qualifiers out there. We're going to start putting some cues. I've got the pen ready to go. Ignore the split times, guys, because it's not working. I don't think there's something gone bung with it, because Tristan Carter was certainly much faster than that without a penalty. So Tacen, and there's another 2-second penalty there. So it's falling apart a little bit there for the Italian, trying to pick up some speed. And we'll see in a moment the next split time, and I think that'll be more realistic for where he is in relation to the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think Paolo here has put together some nice parts of it, but unfortunately not the whole run itself. So.
I'm not sure that that's right either. Now that's more like it. I don't think 22 seconds is right.
No, I think about 8 seconds off of the fastest pace.
There's something a little bit weird going on with these split times, folks, so don't pay too much. The only time you need to worry about is the time when he crosses the finish line, and he, unfortunately, Paolo Tacen is not going to be in the top 10. So just too many mistakes really at the top of the run there for him. They're looking at our coverage, they're looking at our commentary on the phone, they're saying, I can't believe what Ross and Lois are saying there. How can they be so well connected? Now we're going to start seeing qualifiers. And Adrian Fisher, 21 years of age, takes to the water, a 2019 junior bronze medalist. Will he be the first man to go? Oh, what a nice move at the top.
Very dynamic paddler here.
I like the boat too. It's an eye-catching colour combination there for the Frenchman. Just, again, underlining the depth in the French team. I don't think we've seen Adrian this year at a World Cup, so...
Yeah, I don't think he made the senior team, but he did get his opportunity to race, which is...
That time is not right either.
No, he did have a nice start to his race, though, so...
He did, but
we'll see on the
not an 8 second.
No, we'll see on the second intermediate where he stands.
Yeah, yep. So at this stage, the time he needs to beat is the time set by Tristan Carter, which is a 95.67, to go straight into the final. That's more like it. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. That's pretty accurate, I think, because he's clean and he's been quite fast so far. So if he can hold this together now, he may go straight into the final, which will be, oh, lovely move.
Fantastic upstream. And hopefully he can just taking a touch, but it might not be too bad for him.
No, it was 4 seconds up, so he has some wriggle room, but 2 seconds now added to the time. Remember, 95.67 is the time he's got to go under. He's going to be very close for Adrian Carter from France, just outside it, I think. So Tristan Carter, Adrian
Fisher.
Adrian Fisher, yes, doesn't go through, but Tristan Carter does.
Snuck in just behind Adam and just above Mark, so we'll see there if it'll be Crosby. It's looking a little bit further for Mark Crosby to qualify for that final, especially with the likes of Marinich coming down the course.
Yes, yeah, indeed. Some quality still to come. Maciej Marinich is on the course at the moment. Another paddler from Croatia. So 3 Croatians in the semi-final, which is a pretty good effort.
Really good to see some statistics like that.
2013 under 23 European champion. That is a long way back, 2013. So
there we go, Marinich with the direct. Seems to be okay for him. He's an incredibly strong paddler, so
at the moment it's Adam Burgess with a 96.11. Again,
yeah, this split is wrong.
They're having a good time, whoever's in charge of that split, though, just messing with our heads. But we're going to ignore it because it's well and truly out. So Marinich, though, needs to go under 96 to go straight into the final. And at this stage, we've got a 2-second penalty on gate 8. But I feel, Lois, that you can absorb this. You can take a penalty and you can still absorb that. In the times that are on the board at the moment, I think that's not a big problem.
Yeah, we do see him being 4 seconds back on the second split, though. So that touch might have cost him too much.
So he's picked up a little bit of time, but yeah, that's they're reviewing both the touches now. So we'll see what the judges come up with. Yeah. But he's
getting a little stuck with his stern on the bottom, I think, on that rotation. It's pretty shallow in that eddy.
Yep. So that's not going to be good enough, unfortunately, for Marinich, even if they take that 2-second penalty off, and in fact they don't have an asterisk there anymore, so they've kept the 2-second penalty on.
So that's Adam Burgess qualified into the final. And
Burgess is through, so the final is starting to look a bit Commonwealth-like, isn't it? All we need to do is get a Canadian in there, and I'm sure that we can do that. Unfortunately today.
Alex,
Yep. Now, speaking of people we don't see very often, Johan Senechal from France, 21 years of age, a 2020 junior bronze medalist. I cannot remember the last time I saw him competing at a senior World Cup.
Yeah. I mean,
if ever. He must have done something like that.
I'm not sure, but he definitely does have a lot of speed at his disposal.
Yeah. And being French, come on. You're doing our heads in, guys. There's no way he's that much far up on the split. So at the moment it is Adrian Fisher. It's France versus France. So they'll definitely have someone in the final. The French, it'll either be Adrian Fisher or it'll be Johan Senechal who will go into the final. Nice position to be in. Of course, I'd love to have both of them in there.
Here we go, 1.5 seconds up on the split. So we'll see what the rest of the run brings for Johan, but.
Good move there for Johan. His teammate's time, Fisher's time, is a 96.42. Oh, that's not right. 96.42 is the time. Tell you what.
Senechal might have gone 4 seconds. Wow, that was phenomenal.
That is.
It looked fast, but I'm shocked to see that it's 4.5 seconds faster. That was an incredible run.
That is a great run. He's really nailed the bottom half of that course, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I thought that was a mistake on the split time, but it was spot on accurate. 4 seconds he's picked up there. That is a 91.26. There's a few people there in the stands who are going
a little bit shocked. I
they're
think.
going, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Mate Benuj coming down, seeing if he can match that 91.26 or beat.
Do you know, interesting statistic. Matej Benuj, to the best of my knowledge and from my research, I don't think he's ever won a medal here in Tacen.
Oh, is that right?
For a bloke of his pedigree, and who's been around as long as he has and paddled at a top level as he has, including an Olympic silver medal in Rio,
yeah,
I don't think he's ever won a medal here in Tacen.
Well, maybe today is the day. Let's see if he can make it into the final first.
Yep. Possibly the tallest man on the circuit. He's got that extraordinary reach with his paddle, such long arms.
Nice spin there.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit sticky, but I don't think it'll be too costly for him. Coming into this upstream, that split seems quite accurate, just being half a second behind Senecio.
So Matej Benuj putting together a nice run at the moment, needs to go inside Adrian Fisher's time to get through to the final. At this stage, he's well and truly tracking under that time. Fisher's time was a 96.42.
Which is 5 seconds back on the splits.
Yep.
So we'll see Mate is still in that, just inside that window. He has less than a second to play with on the last 3 gates, so we'll see how he manages these. And he's snuck in there through 22 quite nicely.
I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to go straight through, just in, I think.
Yeah. No.
Ooh, just out, is
just
it?
Out.
Yeah, it is just out, but he's got an asterisk next to his name as well. That will not impress him at all. So he lost a bit there on the bottom. Not sure which gate they're talking about, but anyway, they're having a look to see if there's any problem. So 2 Frenchmen now.
Adrien Fischer qualified into the final, and here's our 3rd French, Muin Debliki, coming down.
Yeah, and here's a guy who, well, we've seen him at a junior level and an under 20.
And at a senior level last year.
Yes.
He showed up and performed consistently last year as well.
Yeah, under 23 world champion from last year. He's a European junior champion from 2021 and 2020.
Really fantastic boat control. You see how he caught that wave and just rocketed into the upstream.
So Mark Crosby from Australia is the guy that, I think they've got the split times. Oh, that was a bit confusing.
No, I think it was right. He caught a touch just on the split.
Yes.
So they added it.
And they had the 2 seconds on. So Mark Crosby from Australia is waiting patiently with a time of 96. Oh!
Debliki with a touch there. I think that'll be tricky. He still has some time to play with. In 5 seconds. It'll be really interesting to see if the 5.02 or the 5.38 is the boat that goes into this final today.
Yeah, so Mark Crosby, he needs to go under the 5.38 split difference to get in, and it's going to be so tight. No, that can't be right. In fact, no, I think it is right. He's going to struggle now. So Mark Crosby could be joining his teammate Tristan Carter in the final later on this afternoon.
Yeah, I think Muin won't be joining the other 2 French, unfortunately.
Nope,
finishing provisional 10th place.
10th spot, so that is... Oh, he has a little swim at the end there just to celebrate or commiserate whatever happened. So disappointing result there, but great news for Australian fans. You can well and truly stay up late tonight in Australia. You can maybe watch a bit of the cricket between the break. The Ashes, of course, underway, Australia v England. Then switch back in time for the final to watch your 2 Australians. Now,
Benjamin Sabsak.
Olympic champion. What can he do on this course?
Everything, wonderfully.
Of course he can. He's just got such a great record here. He's won Tacen. He's won gold here twice, which surprised me. I thought he might have won more gold medals here, so I'm sure he's keen to add another one to his collection. He is the Olympic champion. He was in great form last week in Prague. His gold medal winning run in Prague was something to behold.
And here we go, a second up on Senecio.
Yep. So just reminding the young guns what he's got and what he's capable of.
Yeah, he's not big number 1 for no reason.
Nope.
Just absolutely masterclass on this course so far.
We haven't seen anyone do that, so first person to push off the rocks. He's done that well. That is local knowledge. The rocks are his friends here. He knows them all. He's named them all as he goes down the course.
Yeah, gaining even more time.
And you can hear the crowd here. It might be a Friday afternoon in Slovenia, but in some people's minds they've declared it a public holiday. It actually isn't a public holiday, but they've come out anyway.
1.5 seconds. Benny is just, you see how controlled and composed he is when he paddles. He's just placing the boat exactly where it needs to be. Every stroke matters, and wow.
We are going to see a 90-second time here. That is, that'll get the crowd. If they're not down here already, they'll be watching in the office. And there are the Lord Mayor of the Tacen Whitewater course was there giving the thumbs up. Look at that, the bloke on the left I'm talking about, not the guy on the right, the milk carton. So Benny Savsek, if they're not down here already, the Slovenians will be pouring down this afternoon to watch their local hero.
And it looks like the sun is back out.
The sun is out.
So that's very nice.
Everything's going perfectly. Now, Zach the Bug Loken, pretty happy to get through to the final. Of course, went to the Olympics in Tokyo. At one stage, he was threatening for a medal and then didn't quite go to plan down the bottom of the course in the final at the Olympics. But it'd be great to see Zach get through to a final here.
Absolutely. He definitely showed his speed in the qualifications, being the 4th fastest yesterday. So
2019 Pan American champion. Been paddling for a few years now, of course. The Loken family, the only thing they do better than canoe slalom paddling is make cookie dough. Excellent cookie dough, best cookie dough I've ever tasted. I don't think Eric's here. Normally he brings it with him to the course, so I'm quite disappointed. It's probably done me well. But Zach at the moment is putting together a nice run.
Yeah, being 3 seconds back is not a huge worry at this point. There's still 3 seconds between his split and Matej Benush's last split there.
Yeah.
6 seconds back.
So it is Matej Benush who's chasing his first ever medal in Tacen, who's waiting nervously to see if he can get into the final just to compete. Now, it's going to be close. He's got to be under 6.5 seconds behind the split to get into the final. This is going to be touch and go, Lois.
Yeah, some really nice paddling from Bug, but maybe just a little bit.
He's going to be okay. 96.7. He's got to go under, and he's there. He will be stoked.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That is
Bug.
a happy Bug.
There we see Raffles stoked. Everybody's excited.
The Americans love it. An American into the final, and Bug will be very, very happy there. He's got some action coming up later on this afternoon. Now here's, I was going to say the dark horse, but you can't be a dark horse if you've won a World Cup medal here already.
I think Roberto's in here with
one of the favourites.
Absolutely.
Yep. He won gold here in 2019. He's a 2-time under-23 world champion, so we know what he's capable of. But this course, he just seems to be able to just spread. He just grows wings here, doesn't he? And just flies down.
Keeping the speed on the boat, I think, at all times is going to be critical for him.
So Matej Benush is now getting to the stage where he's a bit nervous because he has 2 Italians and Luka Bozic, who he's hoping one of them will make a mistake, and I don't know that I'd like to be resting on either of those to get me through to a final. So it might be an early finish for the day. Let's see what Kola Zingari can do though. 2-time under-23 world champion, gold medalist here in 2019, and Lois, a nice run so far.
Yeah, so far going for the punt as well. Just re-accelerating the boat a little bit there. And moving through that stagger quite nicely. It does say he's nearly 5 seconds back, which puts him close to the bubble on qualifying, but he should still be able to manage.
He's got to go under 6.25 seconds outside the split. So
yeah, we'll see what this combination. Yeah, he keeps the speed there pretty well, I think.
So we're looking at the final time for Benush was 96.7. That's the time that Kola Zingari has to go under. Oh, he goes direct. Not a bad move, I don't think. 96.7. Let's watch it. I think he's going to be just under, is he? Just. Wow.
Just in. You can see the relief. I think he knows. He's just done enough.
Well, lucky he didn't stop to sign an autograph or something on the way down. And he is through just.
Yeah. And just is good enough sometimes.
Yep.
And here we go, next Italian, Rafi Evaldi.
Who's been super fast all year. He was fast in qualifying at Augsburg, fast in qualifying in Prague, but just hasn't been able to follow it up with a nailed final or a semi-final. So is today going to be his day? Needs to go under Matej Benuš's time of 96.7.
Yeah, so far he's coming in for a nice spin. Gate 4, driving the boat nicely. So it's hard to say in the first 5 gates, but he hasn't lost the race, so that's always a good start.
Everything's going tickety-boo at this stage for the Italian Rafael Evaldi.
Slightly off in the first split, but that's not critical. Oh, but flipping there is critical.
Now,
we'll see what Rafi can do, but he's a little discombobulated, I think.
Even though he went through the gates there, is that okay, or does he have to go back?
He has to go back for it because he was upside down as he passed through the gate line, and your head has to be out of the water.
Right. Oh. Now, is that going to cruel his chances? Is his finals dream over? Is Matej Benuš going to breathe another day to win his first ever medal in Tacen?
11 seconds back. You can see how hard it is to keep going on a run when you know you've made a mistake like that.
That is cruel. That is cruel for Rafael Evaldi. He was going well. And that's a 50. That's great camera angle there too to see. You saw it firsthand. You saw it live as it unfolded.
Yeah, unfortunately for Rafael, he will not be starting in the final later this afternoon.
He knows it now. He looks pretty downhearted about it.
That does mean we have Benuš
in the
final, which puts them in contention for the gold medal that you say he hasn't won.
A medal of any kind.
Okay.
To best of my knowledge, I don't think he's won any medals ever.
Here we have a replay of Rafi's 50, unfortunately. Good showmanship, but not quite a clean upstream. Here we go, our last paddler on the course, Luka Bozic.
Yeah, the home crowd get excited again. They would love to have 2 Slovenians in the final. Already Benjamin Savsek there on top of the leaderboard. The man waiting now is Leonard Tuscher from Germany, and the time that he posted is a 97.58. You would think that Luka Bozic, if he's anywhere near his best, should be able to canter under that time. But it's
taking a touch there on
he's lost his paddle.
You can never speak too soon, it seems like, on a course like Tacen. There's so much that can go right and so much that can go wrong.
But luckily he didn't lose too much time when he lost paddle, but it flew out of his hands there.
Yeah. See him opting for the punt and not quite getting paddle behind the boat.
This is an ugly run, I have to say. I'm sorry.
4.1 seconds back from the fastest split so far from Savsek.
He's got 7 seconds to play with.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's out of the race yet, but it does mean he doesn't have any more space for mistakes like he's just made. So
no, if he gets through here, he will thank his lucky stars because everything went wrong at the top.
Yeah, wow, very, very nice upstream, downstream, upstream there.
So 97.58, I think he's going to be okay.
Luka is just going to...
Unbelievable.
Yeah, without too much stress even, make it in 3rd place.
If that happened, that's how well he's paddling. He could make an absolute dog's breakfast at the top of the course and still come in 3rd fastest.
Yeah.
He won't want to look at the replay though of what happened at the top because it was a bit all over the shop.
Yeah, that'll be exciting to see the 2 Slovenes racing each other in the final.
Here we go, Luka Bozic. They're going through this gate here at the top.
Yeah.
See the and there he goes. He was thinking, do I need the paddle or not? Oh yeah, I'm going to go just in case.
If he can do a 95 with a mistake like that, I'm itching to see what he can do. A 93 raw time. What he'll be able to do if he holds on his paddle all the way down the course.
So, what an interesting top 10. Look at it there. Savsek, Senatol from France, Bozic, Lokun, Carter, Burgess, Fisher, Colazingari, Crosby, Benuš. What a fascinating top 10 that is, Lois.
Absolutely. Yeah, quite an interesting start list for the next race. Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us again today.
My pleasure.
We
Thanks
ask
for
a lot
having
of
me.
you guys coming over and commentating, but we really do appreciate your expertise. So as I always say though, Lois, it'd be good if this is the last time we have you in the commentary box, because that means you'll be racing in semi-finals
Yes.
and finals.
Yes, I agree.
We hope you've enjoyed the semi-finals that we've just been able to bring you. The finals are not far away. The women's final will be up first in about 30 minutes from now, so I hope you can join us then. But for now, from Tacen, from Ljubljana in Slovenia, it's goodbye from me, Ross Solly. Join us again soon.